Hi there. I've been hearing from a lot of parents about how their kids are struggling or they fear that their kids are going to struggle going back to school, whether that is online or a blend or going back completely in person. It's going to be a tough year, and I know that everybody had their own experience in the spring with whatever form of school your child had and is going to have. So I just want to give you a few tips. Specifically, I want to talk to you if your child was struggling to focus, if they were attending what I'm calling screen school, remote learning. And then I'm going to give you a third tip, which is going to be how to help your child focus if they are going back to school in person or some sort of blended situation. So the first tip I want to give you is about screen school. Number one, make sure that your child is actually taking breaks from looking at their screen. All of us struggle to look into one spot, let alone a tiny little green dot the whole time. So schedule in regular breaks for your child. That may be, if they're older, in between classes. If they're younger, you can ask your teacher, their teacher, to schedule breaks for them. If it seems like school isn't really on top of that or the teachers aren't on top of that, you may want to take the reins into your own hands and set a timer so that every 10 minutes or so, your child is taking a physical break from the screen, standing up, moving around, looking in different directions. A friend of mine calls it eye yoga. When they do circles, you can do circles with the eyes, doing push-ups, doing jumping jacks, hopefully stepping outside and taking a few breaths of fresh air. It will help your child refresh. It'll help you refresh as well. So even if you have to set a timer for that, please do so. The second tip for attending screen school would be that if your child is a little older and struggling to pay attention to just class, and you find that he or she is being distracted with other tabs or other applications that he or she might have open, is to have a direct conversation with your child to say, listen, this is something that people struggle with as adults. People who work in offices where they're expected to be on the computer can find it hard to stay focused on just their work, and they get distracted by different tabs all the time. So the highest performing professionals are always people who have limited tabs open at one time. There are some apps that are now designed to help keep a limited number of tabs open, and I will share some of those links with you below. I have no affiliation with them. I don't get paid for that in any way. I just want to share them with you in case those might be helpful. And I want to encourage you to share with your child openly how difficult this kind of resisting temptation is, how difficult it is to stay focused when there's so many temptations. It's kind of like putting a circle of candy on the floor and or in front of your child, right? And putting a piece of broccoli in the middle and saying, well, I just want you to eat the broccoli. I don't even want you to look at the candy that's surrounding it. Just look at the broccoli. That would be hard for any of us, right? Or if you're not a candy person, ice cream or brownies, whatever the thing is around the one thing, the one healthy thing that you really want them to focus on. It's a very, very challenging thing. So just own that and let them know that they're not alone in feeling this way, and that there are measures that they can take to limit what is distracting them. The other thing is, as I've been reading a lot recently about how to help kids deal with screen time and how to help parents, we're so concerned about our kids' exposure to screens and how much screen time they're going to be getting, whether it's attending school or doing their homework. And then they want their fun time and they want their social time. And maybe you are living far apart from family and you want to have them FaceTiming with family. All of that happens on screen, and everybody knows the perils of spending too much time online. That said, if you are able to collectively think about screen time as on or off, and you're able to chop it up into different types of screen time, there's going to be school screen time, there's going to be some social screen time, there's going to be some fun screen time, and just limit those categories. It will be easier to take hold and take charge of your whole family screen time. So in the same breath that I'm saying take charge of it, I'm also going to say we may need to show some flexibility around here. Okay, so if your child is able to focus in school for a certain amount of time and stay on task with their class, then perhaps a reward of fun screen time would be an appropriate thing to consider at this time. That may not be appropriate for everybody. It may not be feel right in your family, that's fine. But if it's something that you've been sort of toying with and your child has fun screen time anyway, that's something that you can experiment with. The other piece to this puzzle, of course, is going to be how often people are spending on screens. And so what I highly recommend is having some blackout hours where you just turn the Wi-Fi off in your house, and having Wi-Fi on is not even an option. Are you going to get blowback from your kids? Absolutely. Are they going to like doing it? Absolutely not. And at this time, it is so essential for all of us to be turning off the screens and to be having a break so our minds are getting a rest from it. The third thing that I want to share with you, the third tip, is for if your child is going back to school and they're going to be in a classroom where everybody is wearing masks, including the teachers. This can be really disorienting for kids. They don't know where to look. It's easy for them to maybe get distracted. They don't know if somebody else is smiling at them or somebody is upset with them. What I can encourage you to share with your kids is the idea that everything is going to be focused from here up on the eyes. So give them a place to look. Tell them to look at their teacher's eyes. Tell them to look at their friend's eyes. And in order to help them prepare for that, you can play a game. I played this with my daughter the other day just to see if it would work. I'm going to use a piece of paper right now just to mirror a mask. I don't have one in front of me at the moment. But if this is my face with a mask on, then that's going to be what's visible, right? So practice with your child making faces underneath the mask and see if they can mirror or guess what face is being made. So let's do an example right now. What face am I making beneath my mask? If you guessed smile and you're able to mirror it, great. So this is how you play with your child. You have your mask on, they have their mask on, and one person makes the face beneath their mask. The other person makes what they think is the same face underneath their mask, and then at the same time you pull your mask down and you see if the faces match each other. It doesn't have to be about being right or wrong. It's just about pulling attention to somebody's facial expression, guessing what it might be based on just their eyes. And I've got more tips about that I'll share with you in another video, because it's not just about the eyes, it's also going to be about tone of voice, and it's also going to be about body language. So we're going to talk about that in another video. But for right now, those are the three things that I wanted to share with you. Taking breaks if your child is on screen school. Using a fun screen reward system if that works for your family, and making sure that you're taking blackout time, that you are turning off the Wi-Fi. If you have that in your house, you're taking a full digital detox break. And I'll share that more extensively in another video. And the third thing that I covered today was looking at the eyes. If your child, directing your child to look at their teacher's eyes and their friends' eyes in order to get cues about what people are going to be sharing with them when they are in person. So I hope this helped you today. Go ahead and put your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Please give me a like or a heart or whatever if this was helpful for you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you can get more tips and more information about a course that I'm going to be offering to help you through schooling and parenting in these crazy times. So let me know how it goes, and I would love to hear from you guys. So give me a shout out. Talk to you soon.